Welcome into Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by RightWager.com. Good morning, good people out there. It is Monday, August 3rd, 2020. This is Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by RightWager.com. Got a little bit of a look today. Had to do a little bit of, spring cleaning, a late summer cleaning, I guess you could say. Moving around some microphones. Now, you do see some, let me just pop the collar right here. You do see the microphone in front of my face today. This is the old Yeti microphone. I have a couple of them. I do like to change my setups. But I got to tell you, this isn't exactly what I wanted to use today because I have a microphone setup that I have. And I wanted to use that. It makes it a lot easier because I like to talk with my hands. I don't want to knock into any microphones or do anything. But, old Yeti microphones or the blue Yeti microphones are perfect. They sound great. And I do want to welcome you guys in. But a lot of things going on, changing up a few things. Also had to change a little bit of my camera angle here to make sure I got a little bit more of a steady look. And also with my top monitor here, now I have a clean view, and it should help me go on throughout. So welcome into this, a Monday show. A lot of interesting information going down over the weekend. We got the PGA Tour coming up this weekend with their first championship. The PGA Tour, it's PGA Championship, usually the last one. Now it's actually going to be the first one in this instance. So that's something to look forward to. No fans kind of ruins it because when you're looking at a major championship, it's a lot of nerves for these guys. Do they have the same amount of nerves coming into this upcoming week is going to be the question. Miss putt, 6-footer. Look, the major's on the line, right? But it's got to be a little bit different here. It's got to be a little bit different if you don't have as much, 20,000 people around the green knowing that if you make this putt, you'll be a major champion, or even if you miss this putt, how much money it would cost you. So a lot of that stuff certainly is going to take place this weekend, and it should be fun to watch. But the NBA bubble was exciting this weekend. A lot of scoring going on in the NBA bubble. We'll see if that calms down once the games actually matter when they head into the playoffs. But right now, looks like a shooter's paradise down in those gyms. So welcome into the show. And NHL got underway too. What's up, Ray? How you doing, buddy? NHL got underway. A good start for my Philadelphia Flyers. But again, we're playing for seeding, which, look, some teams you want to avoid. We understand that. But it's the same way also in the NBA. What do we actually do? And I know a lot of people in Sixers Twitter combine. Sixers Twitter is always fun because the one thing I do agree always with Sixers Twitter is Brett Brown is a horrible coach. And you're just wasting away your years with the Philadelphia 76ers unless he changed the coach and actually get a tactician. It's very hard in any sport that when your team lines up, no matter how talented your team is, football, NHL, Major League Baseball, it doesn't matter. Well, actually, baseball, you can take that out. But in any of these sports where you need actual tacticians, Brett Brown has outcoached every single night. And that's hard to do, even though you have a really talented lineup, even especially last year. We had Ben Simmons, J.J. Redick, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, Jimmy Butler also last year, and he just gets outclassed. And Jimmy Butler leaves for Miami, and of course he's going to be like, dude, man, this dude can't coach. He can't even do anything right. And it is what it is. So Sixers looking forward. I don't take anything out of these because, again, what are we really fighting for? What are we really playing for? There is no seeding in the NBA. 1 through 8, you want to get top seed, you get top seed. The top seed is usually great because home court advantage goes through you until the championship. If it's a 7-game series, you got 4 at home, they got 3 at home. Straight up. There's zero reason to get upset about what's taking place in the NHL or even take place in the NBA at this point. There's no sense. So people losing sleep. Oh my God, Sixers stink, or the Boston Bruins lost yesterday to my Flyers. It doesn't matter. You're going to see them again. There's 20,000 Flyers fans aren't winding up in Toronto in a playoff series because they won yesterday. It's going to be an empty arena, and if they score, the horns go off for them and not to the team. Come on, man. We know the difference here. Thanks for tuning in, guys, on Facebook. If you're tuning in here on YouTube, if you're also tuning in on Twitch or on Periscope, I do want to thank you. It is Monday, getting started. We do this each and every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, about a 30 to 40-minute show, depending on how many topics that we haven't hit. And certainly, I like to go over the Major League Baseball card once we do. But if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button. Trying to get over 1,000. We're starting light. At the start of the channel, 280 viewers, up to 320, up to 340, 360, 380, now 399. So about to cross that 400 threshold. Next step is going to be to get over 500 and 1,000 and see how we could take this. The good part about this is my betting season hasn't even started yet. I'm breaking down games, having a great time on Sportsbook Review. Me and Jason Radowitz have a great baseball show. We break down the entire Major League Baseball card, just about the entire Major League Baseball card in about 30 to 40 minutes on sportsbookreview.com. But as you guys know, with my website, rightwager.com, the money that I put on it, I don't start till August 15th. I got to see some numbers. So the good part also about this channel, if you're watching in live, not so much just for a live show that's going to take place each and every morning, there's going to be a lot of information out once I get into the flow of the numbers coming back, because you guys know I wait a long time. I wait 2 weeks in the NFL to get some of the numbers down and see what I see and let it play out on the field. Major League Baseball usually wait a month. This year, about 3.5 weeks. We'll wait till August 15th. Oh, we only have 45 days left. Who cares? Money is money. If I go 10-6 on the season in baseball, who really cares? As long as you're picking up money. It's not about betting. We can all bet. We can all go out every night and just throw stuff against the wall, take parlays, money lines, and have fun and sit back with your recreation time. That's fine, but that's not what I'm about. I'm about winning money. I don't get paid to bet games. I get paid to win games for people. So when those numbers come in, we'll be having a great time the rest of Major League Baseball season on August 15th. Doing a lot of big things. And also, obviously, a lot of my NFL content comes in also on SBR. That should kick in over the next few weeks as well. Usually, we'd be getting started up right now on SBR, with the with the National Football League. But the fact that there's no preseason games, nobody's in camp, nobody's even going to be really practicing for another 2 weeks. So we might get some startup stuff out there, some breakdowns. But again, we don't even know who's playing. So shout out to the other companies and the other, hey, we got a breakdown. I mean, we've all done that back in March and April and, May, and just try to get us through. But if you're doing stuff that's going to line up and trying to take team totals and bet the first week of the season, it's useless. I mean, I guess if a company's going to pay you to do useless content, you probably should go out and get the paycheck. I'm not going to hate on anybody like that. But if you're sitting at home now and, over the weekend, you're watching some of the NBA stuff, the NHL, Major League Baseball, and you're sitting back going, you know what, I'm really going to get after it here in the NFL and try to catch. It's a waste of time. Trust me. I'm a professional with the NFL, man. That is my sport. That is exactly what I know. Ins and outs, who's playing, who's not playing, what the tendencies are, what the statistics are. And I'm not wasting my time one bit on the NFL right now. I'm not cracking any books. I mean, look, I know who's supposed to play. And I know the players in the NFL, and I know what maybe should happen, but it's absolutely useless with every single day guys opting out. Hey, let me bet the Patriots. I remember a week ago, Barlow Patriots, Cam Newton surging. The Patriots surging to the top of the standings and the odds in the AFC East. Now, like 9 players have dipped out. Oh, not so hot a bet anymore. Wait, sit it out, man. Sit it out. There's no need to be first in line, man. Get a feel for everything, and I know a lot of people out there checking in who have told me in the past and even in the past few weeks, hey, look, I'm not betting any of these games until it's actually the day of the game or if they're playing. And I agree how sneaky these baseball teams are treating this too. COVID update. We think we have 4 positive. We're not sure if there's 4 positive. There might be 10 positive. There might be 1 positive. There might be 9 fans in the area positive, but 1 player that tested positive who is a false positive. I'm not going to report that tomorrow till the false positive turns into a false negative and flips back to a double positive. Enough with it. Enough. The last thing I want to do on a Monday is bet a football team because I got a good number early in the week, only to have 3 guys that are going to sit this one out due to COVID issues or something ridiculous throughout the week. We're not doing that, man. And none of you guys should be doing that either. You want to have fun. You want to put money down. You want to see what's what. I understand that because recreation is the name of the game for the most part of this. But also winning money is a strong second place in this. And boy, does it hurt too. Like, hey, man, I love the Cowboys this weekend, right? Boy, I got a good number on the Cowboys, -6. That line's already up to 7. I beat the line. And doesn't it feel good on Friday when Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, test positive for COVID and they're out? Oh, but you got a good number early in the week. It's not even important at that point, guys. Not even important at all. We got some interesting topics to talk about. Let's bring some of those up. And you guys know I love to do some of these things here. Hot topics, baby.
These are your sports betting with Donnie hot topics of the day.
Right. Oh, yeah, that time again. It's that time again. The XFL is a thing. It's that time again. So if anything's proved in the past, every professional football league outside of the NFL is a monster failure. It's an absolute monster failure. All it's going to do is bankrupt you, bankrupt the company, get people to sue you. Players are going to get angry. Your other partners are going to be furious because they didn't make any money and lost everything they had. But you know what's going to happen again? some sucker's going to buy in. So here's what I'm planning to do. If you guys want in, send me an email, admin@rightwager.com. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to set up a football league. And we don't really need too much money out of anybody because that's not really the instance. We're going to be able to pitch rich guys. And we're going to say, you know what? First 5 in with me, right? I'll be the head. I'll be the CEO. But I'll have 5 equal partners along with me. We're going to get in front of the best hedge fund guys, some of the smartest businessmen in the world, professional athletes, movie stars, movie producers, heads of state. And here's what we're going to pitch them. And we're going to say, look, guys, see me and the 5 guys behind me right now. We got an idea. We are going to come up with a football league that's going to be not rivaling the NFL, but we're going to put it in the off season when everybody's burnt out after the NFL season and the champion is crowned. I got a league idea for you investors here. The football is going to be trash on the field. The people that are going to turn in on the TV, if we even get a TV deal, they're going to see players they never heard of in their life. They're going to see stands 10% full. It's going to be freezing cold. And yes, there's going to be big-time college basketball games on, hockey games, NBA games on, pretty much at the same time that we're going to have this league. And the one thing that I can absolutely guarantee that's going to take place is we're all going to lose money in this transaction. And all I'm asking for you guys out here is about, I don't know, $10 million a piece from maybe 100 investors. And yes, guys, you heard that right. I want $10 million from each one of you to buy in. We're going to fail probably midway through the year. You're going to lose all your money, and you're going to be sued. Doesn't this sound like a great proposition? And it really does, because The Rock is buying the NFL. Rock, call me. Call me. I'm going to charge you $10 million, whatever you bought for the league. I'm just going to take it from you. We're going to go out. I'm going to buy a new house. I'm going to buy a new car. I'm going to light the rest of your money on fire, give you a high five, and say thanks. And the very next year, I'm going to take my 5 investors behind me. We're going to pitch the XFL idea again to another set of investors. The smartest people in the world. The Rock is awesome, man. Went to Miami. Pretty sure he graduated from Miami. Big time movie star. Made it big in the WWF, WWE. He's got it made. And I guess it's just when I look at these things, the same way I laugh when you guys say, at Papa John's and also at Domino's Pizza, where I say it's just a Ponzi scheme because the pizza is so bad that nobody in their right mind would actually buy that pizza and have it to be profitable for these stores that have brick and mortar. Papa John's and Domino's are an absolute pyramid scheme that somebody is skimming money and money laundering through because nobody buys that pizza outside of, a 6-year-old's birthday party because you don't want to waste a lot of money on buying food. So you get Domino's or Papa John's or Pizza Hut or whatever it is. Or if you're just old and you have 0 taste buds and you're down your last $5 and maybe you can get that. But nobody buys or eats that type of pizza. Nobody. It's a money laundering scheme. And it seems to me that the XFL is the perfect money laundering scheme. Whereas if you made so much money, you need a tax write-off. So you go by the XFL knowing it's going to fail 5 or 6 games in. And it's not even a great product. If the NFL failed, damn, man, I really enjoyed the NFL. Or if college football, the SEC failed, you'd be damn, I really enjoyed the SEC this year. I'm so sad to see it go. The XFL stinks. It stunk for 20 years. Whatever, the AAF or the AFF, whatever it was that they had a year ago, that league stunk. And if you're one of these guys that it's similar to back in the day when we would all play Madden from the late 90s on, but you were that guy that's hey, we're all talking Madden. We play Madden. The boys come over from Madden. You come over to the dorm room, you play Madden. You come over to somebody's house at home, you play Madden. But you were that geek-ass kid in high school that was saying, hey, man, 2K is the better game. No. You were the only guy in the town that had 2K. We all play Madden. We like Madden. But you're going to get those 2 or 3 geek dudes. They're going to be dude, man, the XFL is awesome, bro. Did you see that Washington team? I don't even know what the heck they're the Gladiators. I don't even know what the Washington team was called. Bro, it was awesome. How exciting. Did you see PJ Walker would be a stud in the NFL and he would be better than Brady, dude? See? We could play both sides of these arguments here, but that's what I get out of it. The XFL, I mean, come on. I don't want to spend all day talking about the XFL. I really don't. But the fact that I have everything set for the show and I see this come up and I got to bang on it. I got to bang on it. The XFL product sucks. The teams suck. The people that are calling the game suck. The sideline reporters suck. The rules suck. But yet people are betting on it. I see, because we're all going to bet something because it's football. Football outside of football does not work. And the easiest way that you can put this into words, or maybe overall trying to look at something, the easiest way to put that through is what? We don't like inferior products. The MLS, United States, awesome, great. People watch the EPL and then they come on with the MLS soccer comes on and like, dude, this sucks. Why? Because it's not good. The players aren't good. It's the same way that we would take a look and say, we want to watch the SEC in football, the ACC, or at least Clemson, the Big 12, maybe Oklahoma, even though they play on the defense. Nobody wants to watch the Pac-12. And outside of like Ohio State and the Big 10, nobody really cares about them either. There's a reason why we tune in and watch Clemson, Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama. There's a reason. Do you want to know why? They're really good football teams with star athletes and players that entertain you for 4 hours. It's the same way that we don't tune into the same amount of numbers. And hey, this is near and dear to my heart. Division III football, the Stag Bowl comes on. Is there a reason why just me and a couple of my buddies from 20 years ago played in Division III? Like, hey, a Division III football game is on. This is cool. Yeah, we're the only ones that think it's cool because the product stinks. So with The Rock buying the XFL, obviously it's a Ponzi scheme that he's moving forward to. Congratulations, Rock, on your Ponzi scheme, bro. Congratulations. A quick bit of notes here. The Pac-12 Unity Group's coming up, and I don't know where these are coming from. And I guess, power grabs are this time of year and just make demands and maybe somebody sticks for it. But I don't understand what the Pac-12 Unity Group is actually doing. They want equal revenue sharing and a list of demands. It's never going to happen. And here again is the crux of the argument that I get into. It's not that I don't want to see people make money. It's not that I don't want people to get their way. But when it really breaks down, I don't think very many people understand the arguments in place and the fallout that takes place when some of these consequences kick in. And if we want this, don't be angry at the fallout, because I'm the guy that looks at the fallout of it, right? Pay college football players. Fine, that's great. Pay them all. But don't get mad. Don't have a march on your campus when women's basketball is cut. Don't get angry at that. Women's field hockey is cut. Don't get mad. Women out there, don't get mad when field hockey's gone. When college basketball outside of UConn disappears and they have to join a men's league just to compete, don't get angry. Don't do it. Don't. When we're all about these equal opportunities in college sports, if you want to pay these football players, you're going to strip away Title IX. If you have never heard of Title IX, it's so women have an equal shot in the collegiate athletics, where you have to have an equal number of men's sports, an equal number of women's sports. So if this is going to throw this out and you have to start revenue sharing and you want your fair share, I'm fine with it. I love football. As long as football continues, I'm okay. But don't get mad at me when all the other scholarships dry up and they say, it's not fair. You did this to yourself in college. It's going to go away because if you're not making revenue in colleges, they're going to strip it. And if the revenues sort of dry, not going to dry, drop's a wrong word because football revenue will always be there as long as this pandemic passes and you get people back in the stands. USC football is going to be fine. But USC girls track, that might have to go away. Oh, no, we can't have that. Well, stay in your lane because it's the same way everything gets around in the United States. The rich employ the poor. The rich pay taxes when the poor get, refunds back. Don't get angry if there's no more rich people to pay for those other things the same exact way. It's just the way the structure is. It sounds great. Everybody make the same. That's not how it works. It can't work that way. If you're going to pay football players, the Supreme Court's going to say, well, then you got to pay women's basketball, even though there's no profit from it. That's what happens. That's what happens. We get all bent and angry at this stuff and then get mad when the consequences kick in and there's no more women's sport. We can't. That's not fair. Women deserve it. And when you look at this Pac-12, you look, everybody wants safe conditions. Everybody wants racial harmony. I don't think anybody's saying that at all. But when these listed demands come out, they're not well thought of, or they're only thought of for the person that's going to benefit the most, which would be the football players. Hey, we want our pay. All right, so we're going to pay an extra $4,000. And by the way, this is going to open the door for us that we can cancel women's basketball. Boop, see ya. Doop, see ya. Don't get angry at it. It's okay. And here's the fight that we're kicking in sooner or later. And it started with I shouldn't say it started, but one of the bigger ones was women's soccer, right, and men's soccer. When it's a black and white issue. There's no political sides coming in here. If one group negotiates a package because they make more money, they get more money. Men's soccer. Well, we got to pay the women the exact same thing. Take politics out, take black and white out. If you just laid two pieces of paper down and said, this team's revenue is 500. I don't just use the facetious numbers here. This team's revenue is 500 million. This team's revenue is 200 million. We're going to pay this team a little bit more because they gross more money and in a more popular sport than this team. Well, if you throw politics in and say men's and women's, then everybody gets all upset. Nothing to be paid equal. And forget about even the political sides. If I get in the office, I'm going to make sure the women make the same exact money as the men. That's not how business works. Look, if the women were pulling in like 5 times what the men's soccer team would be pulling in, they would get paid accordingly. They're not getting paid because they're women. They're not getting paid as much because the sport is different with how much money. And then here's the other argument as well. Women's soccer, they win so much more than the guys. Well, let me tell you something. You look at the worst NBA team out here, right? Or you look at the worst NFL team out here. There's a group that plays down at LA Fitness probably every Saturday, a team of 5 or 6 dudes that runs that court and wins every week. Well, the guys at LA Fitness should get paid as much as the worst NBA team, right? Because they win. It's not the way the world works, man. If you're bringing in revenue, if those 6 guys at LA Fitness had hundreds of thousands of people paying them money to watch them play, yeah, they'd get paid. Nobody cares about Joe, Steve, Bob, and Tom down at LA Fitness on a Saturday afternoon. It's how the world works. And I can't wait to see this, because if there's any way that this can possibly take place over the next couple of years, I will love this. I need to see something in the NFL, or excuse me, the NBA. I need to see a fight between the NBA and the WNBA. I need to see it. I do. I honest to goodness need to see this. And you say, well, Donnie, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean by that? I need to see like a fight, because it almost seems like it's coming, doesn't it? Can you guys feel it out here? Like the NBA's down in the bubble. They're playing. The women, I don't even know if I don't even see women's highlights. Are they off for the week? Are they playing? I have honestly no idea. But is there going to get to a point where in a year to year and a half, the WNBA is going to go on a crusade that they feel that they should be paid the same as the NBA players? Is that going to happen soon? Doesn't it have a feel like that's really where we're heading in this country in about 2 years? We're like the NBA guys making the $30 million, the $25 million, the $20 million checks per year. And then we're going to say like, hey, this isn't right in America. Both women's professional leagues and men's professional leagues have to be held to the same standard, and they should get equal pay. It sort of feels like it's coming to that place. It would be amazing if it does. So sort of me, it's ludicrous if it ever does, but sort of me feels like I think I need that. I think I need that in my life here. We're going to be back in 30 seconds right here, and then we're going to kick off some Aaron Judge and the Yankees. All rise.
Hey guys, Donnie here with SportsBookReview.com, the single best place on the internet for video and also written sports content. You see me do a lot of videos on our YouTube channel at SBR Sports Picks, bringing you all the latest up-to-date information. And also, if you want to win at sports betting, it's always important to get the best lines possible. So check out SBRodds.com, SportsBookReview.com.
Yep, time for a little Aaron Judge and the Yankees. If you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button, turn it on. Let's send those subscribers through the roof. Thank you for tuning in on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you're coming in at. I do thank you for watching Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by RightWager.com. We back to business, August 15th. But let's get back to the business of the day right now. You can't turn on the TV without this giant 6'6", 270-pound dude bombing away for the New York Yankees right now. And are we surprised? Is anybody out there actually surprised at what's going on with the Yankees right now? You have a 1-through-9 murderer's row, or as your manager Boone would say, savages in the box. It's 90 degrees every day, and they are just tomahawking the baseball. Team totals be damned. Like, if a team total under for the Yankees is anything less than like 5.5, like, they get 5. And like, oh, that was a tough beat. But outside of that, they're just tagging people. And if you watched last night, late night game between the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees, they were going just both squads, bang, 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 bang. But the Yankees, they're never out of it. The same feeling I used to have back in the day around, 2008, 2009, 2010 with my Philadelphia Phillies. Those guys used to get, the 3-run home run is always an inning away with those guys. And that looks like it's taking place with the Yankees. 5 straight days, or 5 straight games, I should say. Probably 5 straight days as well. Aaron Judge is going yard for the New York Yankees. Is that going to stop tonight against the Philadelphia Phillies? Probably not. Again, we're getting into baseball where it's not early April, where it's 55 degrees and rainy. You're getting into baseball where it's 90 degrees and muggy at first pitch in that tiny bandbox, embarrassing ballpark known as Yankee Stadium. Tiny little place. Always like to take a shot to rip the Yankees. Like, when I look at the Yankees, 2 things I think of. The worst booth in baseball with John Sterling and Susan Waldman. Just disgraceful that that's the Yankees booth. And secondly, they built a stadium that could be in any like minor, 13, 14-year-olds can go yard to right field. So anytime I take a shot at the Yankees, it's all fun. But for a class organization, maybe the best organization in the history of professional sport, to have 2 clowns in the booth calling the game for radio and also have that ballpark embarrassing. It should have stayed like the old school Yankee Stadium, even though it had a short porch and right. That was a cool stadium. Had a lot of history to it. But this new stadium they built to try to mimic it, it's just embarrassing. It's awful. Trashy. It's crazy. The one thing that the Mets have over the Yankees finally, obviously not the cachet in New York, not the payroll, not the ownership, not the, coolness of being a Yankee as opposed to a Met. But the Mets built a really nice stadium, and the Yankees built just a garbage pit out there in the Bronx. Hate to say it, but it is what it is. But yeah, the Yankees are absolutely bombing away. And to get to another Major League Baseball topic here, the Phillies finally back on the field. Hey, I feel it. We're going to play today. It's a shame to get to play the Yankees. Could probably get the head caved in. But when you think about it, the Philadelphia Phillies have been off since not yesterday, Sunday, right? Because today's Monday. They have been off all the way back previously to Sunday when they played the Marlins, the COVID-19 Marlins, I mind you. But we had to cancel the rest of baseball because for the Phillies, a clubhouse attendant got it and a coach got not a play. Now look, if I were to tell you and drop you into 2020 and say the Phillies have only played 3 games so far, and we're in August. But keep in mind, no players have tested positive in this era. But the Phillies haven't played it's hard to even make up at this point, to be honest with you. The Phillies haven't played a baseball game in over a week, and yet nobody on the team is positive. It's crazy. But that's where we are. And how about Cespedes? Class guy over here, right? Stolen a lot of money in baseball. Yeah, we're going to use the word for Cespedes as stolen at this point. I get hurt. I was on my ranch and I jumped into a pit and broke my ankle. You didn't do that. You probably are out riding some ridiculous motorcycle or, running around your compound doing ridiculousness things. I'm pretty sure it was just, you fell down in a pit or something like that while you were working and fixing fences or something like that on your compound. Bull. We all know the difference. Stole money last year. Remember the times when he was injured and going golfing? Like, hey, man, my legs are cramped up or I'm having trouble with my quads. Oh, by the way, Cespedes played 36 holes yesterday. Getting the Mets fans all bent out of shape. And then the coup de grace of everything was yesterday is you saw the alert tweets out as soon as the Mets game started. By the way, we got no idea where Cespedes is at. We have no idea where Cespedes is at. Somebody be on the lookout. So, of course, they send a fleet of people to where he was staying, and he's not there. He's cleaned it out and he's left. And then his agent, midway through the game, calls Brody Van Wagenen, who I think used to be Cespedes' agent, and tells him, hey, by the way, Cess is out, man. He don't feel like playing again this year. There's a lot of class individuals in professional sports, isn't there? Cespedes is surely one of them. Hey, it's just right to opt out. But do it the right way. How about in the morning at 9 a.m. you wake up and you have your agent and yourself on the phone with Brody Van Wagen. Hey, by the way, second thoughts here. I know it's early in the day. We apologize. I thought I wanted to really play this year, but look, I'm still a little bit banged up. I can't run all that well. COVID-19's out here. I don't want to get it. I'm going to, turn the lights out in the season and come back next year. No, you just leave everybody hanging as if they thought you ran away or something devastated happened to you. Way to leave your teammates in alerts, right? We're ready to get a baseball game underway. Hey, man, where's Yoenis at? Where's Yoenis at? I don't know. Nobody's heard from him. We don't know where he's at. Great, let's go out there. Oh, got thumped by the Braves. Good luck out there by Cespedes. And if we keep with this whole COVID-19 topic out here, how about the Patriots out here? Hate to see it, right? Hate to see the New England Patriots. Something to it, and it's not just COVID. And I'm going to get to another point also, because this continues, this opt-out is really interesting to me because it's the NFL and how the NFL is structured as opposed to other sports, and why more guys in the NFL are going to opt out. Not because it's going to transmit faster in the NFL because they play that's all malarkey. That's not what the crux of the argument is. First point I want to take a look at is the New England Patriots. So you're saying to me that these guys, whatever the paycheck's going to be for this year, a lot of them are going, dude, Bill is it's so miserable around here that we used to play for championships with New England for 20 years. We had Tom Brady, we had Bill Belichick. You sucked it up. And everybody who went there said, hey, you get in line, it's the Patriot way. And the minute they left, all they could do was flame that place, even though they won. Dude, from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, I'm miserable in New England. It's a miserable place to be. Yeah, we always have the great defenses, and I know where the ball is going. And, my coaches are just wizards at setting up a game plan, but they're so boring. They're not fun. I can't stand being in that building, but I'll make some money. I'll win. And if I ever get out and I'm a free agent, I'll break the bank and I'll go have a lot of fun. And damn, I don't ever want to go back to the Patriot way. It's got to be something the Patriots, double or what the league are with opting out. Some teams have one guy, two guys. Patriots, I think, are close to approaching now double digits. And that's pretty funny to me because overall, when we're looking at who's in, who's out, you figure, the Patriots, they have their stuff together. They got Cam Newton in town. These guys can't wait to get away, man. These guys cannot wait to get away from Bill Belichick and New England Patriots. Oh, that's not the case. That's not the case. It's absolutely 1,000% the case. And if you don't believe it, so be it. But people don't want to play for Bill Belichick. And now that Tom Brady's gone and maybe titles aren't on the horizon, they're sitting it out this year and coming back next year. Now, interesting parts, the way of these things are structured and how they're going, right? If you opt out this year, take a look at Dante Hightower, linebacker, star linebacker for the New England Patriots. He's sitting this one out, but he's able to push his $8 million base salary over to next year. Now, the Patriots could cut him because it's not guaranteed money. Cut him, restructure. You're not coming back unless we do something here to work this out. That's their prerogative. They can do it. But there's an interesting thing that's popping up, and really a genius thing for NFL players across the league. And it starts with the New York Jets, and it's C.J. Mosley at middle linebacker. Because when you first see his name pop up, oh my God, that's crazy. Man, big money linebacker opting out for the season, young, missed a lot of time last year, basically stole the Jets' money last year by sitting out with a groin injury. Shame, too, because he's a really good football player. But he goes out, and you say, wow, that's going to be devastating. Wonder why other people will follow suit. And if a big star athlete like that does it, same way Dante Hightower. But when you get into the details, did you see the way his contract is structured, C.J. Mosley? I don't have the specifics in front of me, but sort of the plan of his contract is in 2019, I believe he got a $7.5 million signing bonus. And then whatever his usually when they give you a big signing bonus and guarantees, that's what you care about as an NFL player. You don't care about the base salary. And also the base salary is what counts more heavily towards the overall structure of your salary cap than the signing bonus, because the signing bonus or the guarantees, if you have a 5-year deal, you could spread out over 5 years. But whatever you have on that base salary, that goes directly to the salary cap that year. So let's just say it was $1 million. Let's keep it the same. So I got $7.5 million to sign, $1 million to play during that first year of the contract. $8 million, $9 million, $10 million, whatever he made. That's awesome, man. That's great money. And then in the offseason, which was March, COVID March, as long as he was on the roster, he got his roster bonus. That roster bonus, I believe, is like $10 million. So let's just go back through 2019. Let's just say, and rough numbers here. I don't know the exact numbers. $7.5 million to sign, $1 million to play, and then in the offseason, just to be on the roster, which they're not going to cut you. That's where the guarantees kick in. $10 million. You're looking at, let's just say, roughly $20 million that he made over the course of that year. Now, roster bonuses, everything is fine. He's still on the roster. This isn't a roster bonus like in September 15th. It's a roster bonus in the offseason. So now when we flip it over and we take a look at what he was scheduled to make this year, $1 million. Now, to me, you and Joe Public, holy cow. Like, how can the dude sit out for $1 million? Like, how can we sit out and hang out for $1 million? Who would sit out and give up $1 million? Not me, not you. That's a lot of money. But think about this. Dude just cashed $20 million for basically playing like a handful of games last year. It's COVID. Maybe he doesn't want to get sick. Maybe he didn't take the workouts seriously after it kicked in. And instead of getting $1 million, you can opt out. He's not a high-risk guy. So I believe there's a $150,000 stipend, which, again, it's going to get taxed. And it's not that much, but it's still something off of your $1 million. And then next year, he has another bonus kick in for being on the roster again. So he might be looking to make $30 million over roughly a year and a half without even playing a single foot or playing with his, 2019, a couple games before he went on IR. That is incredible for CJ Mosley. And as much as you look at him and be like, dude, that's really messed up, he's using that contract and the NFL contracts to his advantage. Because let's flip the script and say it was Major League Baseball, what you're seeing now, the NBA, what you're seeing now, and equate those salary structures and salary, contracts over to the NFL, where everything is a base. So if we said CJ Mosley, and again, let's just use round numbers here, 5 years, $50 million he signed for, which is $10 million a year. So he made $10 million in 2019. He's scheduled to make $10 million in 2020. Do you know what? CJ Mosley isn't opting out of the 2020 season because he's going to make $10 million. That's a lot of money to pass to the next year where they can cut you because it's non-guaranteed salary, or they can restructure and drop it down. He's using this to his advantage, and he's smart enough between him and his agent to sit it out. But again, when me and you look at it on the side, man, what a sacrifice he is making, sitting it out, all that money he's leaving on the table. But when you look at his actual contract numbers, he's not leaving anything out. And he's really making the overall smart move. You would do the same thing, right? If I dropped in, you guys hear like the lawnmower running right by my next door. Always nice. What is it? 11:37. So, hey, set your clock to that. But with CJ Mosley, we would all do it. If you said, look, in 2 years, you're going to make about $40 million. You're going to have to play 3 games. You can even sit one out. In football, this isn't like basketball or golf where there's light wear and tear and, hey, you want to be out there with your boys. This is really wear and tear, CTE. You can risk injury, bodily harm. And he's going to sit it out and say, I'll give you the $1 million back. Give me $150,000, and I'll settle my $25 to $30 million over the next couple of years. It's such a smart move, man. It really is such a smart move by CJ Mosley. But using the contracts to your advantage, we might get mad if you're a Jets fan, like, damn, CJ, you really sold us out. But he's only really looking out for himself, man. That's the way to do it. Be back in 1 minute, folks.
Hey guys, Donnie here with RightWager.com, your handicapping home on the internet. As you know, we specialize in NFL, Major League Baseball, and NCAA hoops. And as always, we are 100% verified on third-party CapperTech.com. If you are a gambler, this is your place to be. Affordable packages, 1 day, 7 days, 30 days, 6 months, and even up to a year. Also, when you stop by the site, you'll notice sports content right here with the live broadcast home of Sports Betting with Donnie. There is no better place to be in the handicapper community than RightWager.com. And as always, I like to say, what side are you on?
All right, folks, we got it. We got it in the house. About to get after it here. It is Major League Baseball. We do have another day. We like to say a full slate, but obviously some teams aren't playing, canceled games, but my Philadelphia Phillies are back in play. And how about this funny part of it? And look, it's really not funny. It's kind of embarrassing if you're Major League Baseball. But overall, taking a look at the Philadelphia Phillies and what's really taking place. You remember when they were going to sit out? This was Saturday. I was driving around in my car, and we're getting information left and right of who's going to play, when the Phillies looking to play. And they said the Phillies-Yankees game is going to be canceled on Monday. And you said, oh, man, look at that. Again, canceled, even though the Phillies aren't testing positive. Extra safe. We don't want any issues to reoccur or do this. Well, it turns out now on Tuesday, the tropical storm is moving up the coast from, down to Miami and Fort Lauderdale, up through the Carolinas, Virginias. It's going to get here tomorrow in the Philadelphia area, New York area. and dump 5 to 6 inches of rain, whatever it's supposed to be. So that's going to cancel another Phillies game. So you know what the Phillies in Major League Baseball said? Oh, by the way, we're going to play on Monday. Like, really, man, get it together. You're either playing or you're not playing. Enough. It's not about safety. It's about you guys being knuckleheads out here. Like, oh, my God, we really might have the Phillies. And what happens if it's still around Wednesday and the field is underwater and we can't deal with it? Now the Phillies want to play till Wednesday. Well, you know, the prize for the Philadelphia Phillies for sitting out the entire week is, play the Yankees in Yankee Stadium against Garrett Cole. So you take a look right down here, 971, 972. And let me see if I can take this one thing off here, this banner off, so you guys can see it a little bit better here. There we go. That should help. All right, so let's slide this bad boy down. You got Garrett Cole and you got Jake Arrieta. And here's another one of my pet peeves with the Philadelphia Phillies and how they're run as an organization. It makes no sense. In a short season, right? It's a 60-game sprint in this season. The object is to pitch your best players on the mound, your pitchers, as many times as you can, because that's to your advantage. If you look at the Philadelphia Phillies, they're top heavy. And then it's really like, what are we going to get out of 3, 4, 5, and 6 as our starters? Like, you're expecting a good year from Aaron Nola. You're expecting a good year from Zach Wheeler. That's 1-2. They played a week ago, right? Pitchers pitch on 5-day rest typically. Am I right? So now, after a week, or the Phillies and Joe Girardi just smarter than I am, saying we're not beating Garrett Cole. It doesn't matter if we have Cy Young on the mound. Garrett Cole and the Yankees going to bust us up. So we throw, loose bodies in the elbow, Jake Arrieta today. And, oh, yeah, Chris opens up. You see that right there, right? 318. The Phillies opened up a $3 dog. Now sits at 285, 275. Over-under is of 9. So maybe the Phillies and Joe Girardi actually are smarter than I am, quite honestly, by saying we're going to lose anyway, so we're not going to throw it. But the realist in me says maybe they're just being another inept organization like they typically are. At least Gabe Kapler's not pulling the strings, so I can't just explode on this. But we're with the Phillies saying, well, it's Jake Arrieta's turn. He's going to go out there. That is a ludicrous option. If you have 2 pitchers that are far and away better than anybody on your staff, is it not under your obligation to the fan base to pitch them as many times as you can as they're healthy? We're not pitching them every 3 days, every 4 days. Every 5 days, Nola should take the mound. Every 5 days, Wheeler should take the mound. And if they're off anything longer like they have been, they should take the mound immediately again. It should be Nola and Wheeler and then fill in the blanks after that. But no, we're the Phillies. We're going to throw Arrieta out there. Other games here, Cleveland and Cincinnati, Plesac and Gray. I mean, Gray's been pretty good to start the season, and he's taking some money here, 119 to 139 at Pinnacle Offshore. Jacob deGrom, Mike Soroka, good pitching matchup again. I believe they dealt against each other opening day and were sensational, the both of them. Opened up at 7.5. That now sits at 8, and that line hasn't moved that much. Because what are you really getting from the Mets in this spot? Are you just going to wait DeGrom out? You know, there's normal starts where DeGrom takes the mound and the Mets score like 1 run over 7 innings while DeGrom holds a shutout on the opposite side and the bullpen blows it. Is that what we're going to get in this game also? Could be. Rodon and Anderson, Milwaukee's going to take the mound again. Get back out there after those scares with, their own COVID. Lorenzo Cain can't play, and St. Louis Cardinals had it, but they're going to go Chicago White Sox and Milwaukee, little interleague action. Kansas City and the Cubs, another interleague game. Mill's going to take them out against Duffy, the lefty. Money coming in a little bit here on the Royals. You see that right there, Chris? 160 to 150. Opens up at 8, 8.5, 8 across the boards now. Also, you have Cueto and Gonzalez in that thin air in Colorado. 7 out of 10 tickets roughly here coming in on Colorado. That line opened up at 143. Now sits at 130. Even Chris, look at Chris opened up offshore. 155. That now sits at 130. Montas and Justice Sheffield for the Mariners. That opened up at 9, staying at 9, but a heavy price. I mean, that is a heavy price to pay on the road. Frankie Montas, decent pitcher. 174, now 184, 175 to 185. Walker Buehler on the mound, my man, versus Chris Paddock. That's a great young pitching matchup. I would probably say that's the game of the day for me. I mean, you could look at maybe saying the Mets up here will be the game of the day, but I like this spot here. Dodgers and Padres. Maybe the Padres can kick in a little bit and get after making a nice chase down the 2-month season, try to run down those Dodgers. But team launch angle is going to have it. Look at Walker Buehler. Again, got a little bit of a disrespect in his first start when they played Houston against Framber Valdez, won that. But this one opens up at 131, sitting at 130, opens up at 130, now 133. So not a lot of line movement, but there is a small movement in the total here from 7.5 to 8. And then as we just took a look at that Philadelphia game versus the New York Yankees, good to see them back in action. But again, the Phillies won't play again tomorrow, which is really getting on my nerves. But is what it is. But that's pretty much your show for today. I'm hoping that I can get this wireless mic work. Because if you guys watch my YouTube videos for pubsportsradio.com, I really like to use a wireless mic a couple times. Like it sits here, you can move your hands because it's not bad. It sounds quite. Yeti mic's a really good microphone, so I don't have any reason to not like it. I have a clean screen when I look at it here. The only thing is, I have to wrap my hands around to type when I want to put something in the chat box, but it doesn't really, dissuade me too much. But hopefully I can get that worked out. But at least today I will be on 1:30 p.m. Eastern time on SBR, breaking that Major League Baseball card down. And look, right now, it's a lot of conjecture from me, Major League Baseball. Like I'm going on what I know from the players and going on for what I saw last year, but I need to see real numbers this year, and we can really kick after it because if you do hit the follow button there, get the subscribers up, when we do start putting out some game breakdowns, they're short videos. It's not like, hey, man, shit, Donnie's going to break a game down for 45 minutes. I don't really want to hear that. These are 3 to 4 minute videos here, what my thoughts on the game would be, but also some analysis where I'm comfortable with, and I can say, look, here's where we're going tonight, and here's why we're doing it. I don't want to say, hey, we're going to go with the Chicago Cubs tonight because really, they really hit lefties last year. I don't care about that. So hopefully when these numbers come in, we'll have fun. And also when we're talking about NCAA football, NCAA basketball, NFL, when all they're underway as well, we're going to be kicking out plays left and right, free plays out here, right along with rightwager.com and having a lot of, good times, good information spouted out. So I do want you guys to stick with me here and we'll really get after it once these numbers come up here. Here we go. What are we saying? Let's get a little chat box out here. See what we got here. Crazy Baller. These greedy cats going to ruin it for the next generation. Yup. No, I hear you. Also crazy says Jets fans and Nets fans and Nets. Jesus. Jets, Mets, and Nets. Money grubbers. Yep. Rojas press conference. Embarrassing. We're going to support that. Yeah, they can't really, which is the same. They can't say that because, Brody Van Wagenen wanted to say like, look, I want to be nice up here and say we supported this position, but he's a scumbag. You can't really say that too much. And Andrew G coming. I believe Andrew G is a Kansas City guy, I want to say. The word is Major League Baseball might shut it down, my sources say. Yeah, sources are as good as the sources, as Chris Broussard used to say. It is what it is, but that's the show for today. Thank you for tuning in. August 3rd, 2020. I'll be back on in about 2 hours on sportsbookreview.com, doing big things there, breaking down the entire card and really dipping in deep here. This is me trying to be a producer all over the place. We'll find the places that we need to get to be. Each and every day I learn something new. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow, same bat channel, same bat time, right here on Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by rightwager.com.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by rightwager.com.